Hi guys, I'm Erin from Ginger's Florals. If you don't know me, I have a small flower farm in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. If you can hear it out the greenhouse, it's raining pretty good right now. So it's a good time to be in the greenhouse planning for this coming season. I wanted to talk to you guys specifically about what seeds you should be growing starting in January for cut flowers in the Pacific Northwest in Zone 8B. Our last frost date is April 8th, which means that's only 13 weeks away-ish from right now. We've already actually sown a couple of flowers. The Lisianthus and our eucalyptus are already growing. There's one tiny little sprout in the eucalyptus. They take forever. I have another video about that. You can scroll back up one or two and you'll see it. I'll walk through everything else that we're going to sow throughout the month of January. Starting with viola, we have 3 different varieties. These go into the hanging baskets that we sell at the farmers market, so I like to start them early enough that we can get them good size and pinched and blooming by the time the market comes around. The next flower to start in January is Bachelor's buttons. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually sow new seed this time, simply because they are prolific self-seeders, and I think that I've seen a couple popping up already. So it's been a mild, warm winter. So I'm gonna go take a look at those, and I may or may not start them. They are hardy annuals. They like to self-sow. They will come back year over year. If you have them in a spot that you like them, just shake off the seeds every season and you shouldn't have to plant them again. The next one I wanted to talk to was Snapdragons, actually. These can actually be in Zone 7 or Zone 8B. We can actually sow these in the fall, and I've done that before. I did it last year actually, and it was marginal success for me. They grew well, but we had an unusually cold winter, and I apparently didn't protect them well enough, and only, I would say, half of the plants survived the winter. I didn't try it again this year. I figured I would just sow a couple successions during the season this year. I have 9 different varieties. They generally need to be sown 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost, and then about a month later I'll sow them again so that I have a second round of them going into the fall. They're one of my absolute favorites because they are cut and come again. You can cut them and they take a little while, but they will bloom twice if they have enough time. The next one I wanted to talk about was sweet peas. These also can be fall sown around here. I have better luck sowing them early winter into deep plug trays so that they have lots of room for their roots to grow down and get really healthy before I plant them out into the fields. They have a pretty short base life, 4 to 5 days, but they're such nostalgic flowers that everybody loves them. And you can just, when they're in bloom in season, you just walk in the general area of the flower field and you can smell them. They're just unbelievable. The next one I wanted to talk to is stock. This one is a one-hit wonder. I have to do succession sowing so that I can have them throughout the season. Every 2 to 3 weeks I'll sow more plants. The seed packets will tell you to sow them 5 to 6 weeks before your last frost, which wouldn't be until late February for me. But because we have a mild winter, usually it's not super cold, and I can protect these with frost cloth. I'll start my first succession now. I'll wait probably, like I said, 3 weeks, start another one, and by the time they go out, I can plant them out in March, protect them with frost cloth, and they should be just fine. Like I said, I have 5, 6 different varieties of stock. These are another one you want to grow if you like this flowers for their scent. These have this most amazing clove sort of scent that it's just intoxicating. People will walk by the flower stand and they will come back because they smell them coming out of the bouquets, and they're just gorgeous. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to is where I'm also going to sow most of my perennial seeds this time of year. Most perennials, if you start them from seed, they'll take the entire season just to get settled and establish themselves, and they won't bloom until the next season. However, in my experience here in this zone, occasionally, if you plant them early enough, you'll get blooms by the end of the season. So I've had that happen with echinacea and delphiniums, so I trust that they'll actually do it, and I've had good luck with several of my perennials from seed actually blooming the same season because I started them so early. So what I'm going to plant this month, start the seeds, are some penstemon, and these are really for like a sparkle, something that it's just a little something that grabs your attention and people want to check it out, see what it is. I'm also going to grow a couple different varieties of echinacea, green twister and Cheyenne spirit mix. These are an interesting color combination, and echinacea just make beautiful late summer blooms, and they have the most gorgeous seed heads that go great in dried flower bouquets, even fresh flower bouquets, and I tend to leave them on the plant over the winter as well, for a good chunk of it anyway, and the birds will eat the seeds. It's really great forage for the wildlife. Another one that I'm going to grow is Verbena hastata, a blue verbian, I guess. This is just another one that adds that little sparkle. I like to use perennials for that because it's hard for me to use up actual bed space on something that's just a tiny little sparkle. So I will grow all of these perennials, except for the echinacea, out in the, what's it called? In the hedgerow, so that it's there and I can grab little bits and pieces of it, but it doesn't take up bed space. Another one that I already spoke to but I love is delphinium. These are some of my absolute favorite flowers. I grow a bunch of larkspur too. It's the same flower family, but these perennials are just gorgeous. They have such huge, tall spikes of flowers and the most amazing color palette. So I'm going to start these this month. And then the last one is called Rose Campion. It's this picture, I know you can't see it well enough, but it doesn't do it justice. The color of these flowers is like an electric pink. I don't know any flower that can compare to the vibrancy of that color. Again, it's another one that's just a little bit of sparkle into the bouquets that grabs your attention, makes you look twice at it. But again, I'll plant these into the hedgerows on the back side of the fields. And I just love them so much. Over the next few weeks, I will bring you guys along as I actually sow all of these different types of seeds. I'll give you all the details of each of the varieties, the specific needs that it has for sowing. Some like to germinate warm and then grow cool, and all the detailed specifics to make growing these from seed a success for your garden. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you learned something or are inspired to go see what you can grow in your zone in January. If you're in 7B, give any of these a try. If you were in a warmer climate, you probably already could have started them. So give it a shot. Thank you guys for coming along, and I'll see you in the next one.